we've got you covered. This is 19 News at 5.
The driver accused of hitting a woman in an Onalaska crosswalk says she's not guilty. And police released the name of the teen accused of killing Lily Peters. The man, once on the run after an alleged triple murder in New Lisbon, now in police custody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Heather Armstrong. Well, we begin with breaking news. The Juneau County Sheriff's Office says authorities have captured Virgil Thu, and he's in custody. The 47-year-old is charged in connection to the triple homicide in New Lisbon last week. The Sheriff's Office says Thu was found in the city of Elroy. That's a small town in Juneau County, about 12 miles southwest of New Lisbon. Now, right now, that's all the information authorities have shared, but we're working to learn more. So we'll bring you those updates on air and online as soon as we have them. And more breaking news out of Chippewa County now. The name of the person charged with killing Lily Peters is now public. Unsealed court records show his name is Carson Peters Berger. We were previously referring to him as just CPB. Now, he's 16 years of age, but is charged as an adult in her death. Now, Peters Berger's faces homicide and sexual assault charges. Lily Peters was just 10 years old in April of 2022 when she was sexually assaulted and killed. Well, the woman accused of hitting a woman in a crosswalk back in September appeared in court today to learn the charges. Megan Urch is being formally charged with homicide by negligent operation of a vehicle. That incident taking place in the crosswalk on Main Street in Onalaska. The victim, 83-year-old Darlene Wozni. She died from her injuries. This afternoon, Urch's attorney said his client pleads not guilty. Now, initially, Urch received a $10,000 signature bond and stayed in jail on a probation hold relating to previous crimes. She'll stay in jail, though, until February 14th. That's when her next court appearance is. And fire crews in Trempealeau County started the morning off bright and early with a call to a camper fire. Authorities say the call came in around 4 a.m. to a fire at 236 West Mill Road in Blair. 48-year-old Adam Thayer was asleep inside when a propane tank exploded and started on fire. Thayer was able to escape. Luckily, he was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. That fire also started a second camper on fire right nearby, both a total loss. Police say a portable heater was being used and likely played a role in this incident. They remind you right now to be cautious, especially when it's cold, when you're using these portable heaters. And you've probably seen the devastating images of that massive wildfire burning throughout Southern California. You can see the homes in the Pacific Palisades, nothing but ash and rubble. At least 5 people have been confirmed dead. Of course, the sheriff's office says that number is sure to rise. The strong winds there making things even worse for the firefighters. Right now, more than 180,000 people are under evacuation orders.
A lot of people lost their homes, a lot of people waiting to find out if they've lost their homes, and just everyone really mourning and trying to figure out what all of our next steps are.
Now, obviously, the wildfires, they're causing air quality concerns, so officials are warning seniors or anyone with underlying health conditions to stay indoors. Well, you've probably seen his face before, meteorologist Jeremy Landgrave from our sister station WQOW, but you've helped us out in the past, but now he's here in the flesh with us. Welcome, Jeremy. More important, our viewers just want to get right to it, and they want to know, what are the chances we're finally going to get some snow?
Yeah, Heather, finally those that have snow or not much of it for right now. A cold front's moving through. You can kind of see that near Minneapolis. We're going to catch some of that for this evening. But so far, we've been able to stay dry. In fact, if you take a look at our current conditions at 26, feels like 21. Shows clear skies. We do have some thin clouds. You're going to see similar temperatures all around here in the Coulee region in the mid-20s. But we're going to see those chances all the way through tonight. Like I said, it's not much snow. We're looking to get about less than a half an inch. Better chances are going to come for this weekend on Sunday. More on that coming up in 15 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. In other news, former President Jimmy Carter is being laid to rest today in his hometown of Plains, Georgia. His body flown there for the final time after a state funeral in Washington, D.C. this morning. ABC's Rena Roy gives us more of the details of the historic day.
Former Former President Jimmy Carter coming home to Georgia for the final time. Today, tributes in the tiny town of Plains at the Baptist church where Jimmy Carter taught Sunday school for all the years after the White House, a small private funeral. At the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. this morning, a state funeral.
He may be gone, but he's not gone far. The outpouring of love and support that we have felt from you and from around the world has shows how many lives he has touched and how his spirit will live on in many ways for us.
All 5 living presidents there.
Because of patriots like Jimmy Carter. Throughout his life, he showed us what it means to be a practitioner of good works and a good and faithful servant of God and of the people.
Here in Plains, an outpouring of love where Carter's life began 100 years ago on a rural farm where a bell used to wake him up an hour before dawn. The peanut farmer who became the 39th president.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
Taking the oath of office in January of 1977, serving just 1 term, but perhaps most celebrated for the humanitarian work he did for decades after his presidency as the longest-lived U.S. president. Today, his family burying him next to his beloved wife, Rosalind, near their humble home in a place they both picked out.
As he returned to Plains, Georgia, for his final resting place, we can say goodbye. Jimmy Carter did justly, loved mercy, walked humbly. May God bless a great American, a dear friend, and a good man.
And we are, of course, sorry about those technical issues. Now, in other local news, Tuesday was the last day for people to file nominations for elected offices, including for the City of La Crosse mayoral race. Crystal Flintrop has the details about the last person to formally announce their bid to replace Mayor Mitch Reynolds.
The La Crosse City Council President Chris Kalo announced Thursday morning her plans to join the race for mayor. Kalo moved to the area in the early 1990s and has been a business owner for 27 years. She currently represents the 6th district on the council and was elected as council president in 2023. Kalo shares that she's served on the board of park commissioners, the Heritage Preservation Commission, is a member of the Economic Development and Community Development Committee, amongst other committees, something that she says sets her apart from her opponents.
27 years of managing staff, writing checks on both sides. I've done all that. Granted, I have not been the CEO of a major company, which I consider the city a company of a $70 million budget, but I have worked on that budget for 6 years, working with staff and the mayor and neighborhoods, hearing what people want out of their city.
Kalo says she hears the concerns from local residents and businesses about keeping doors open and affordable housing. And she says she plans on working with local representatives to advocate for more funding from the state.
All right, thank you, Crystal. Now, Kalo joins Shondell Washington Spivey, Ellie McClune, Vicki Markison, and Chris Stone as candidates. Now, the spring primary set for Tuesday. That's February 18th, with the spring election scheduled for April 1st. And happening tonight, several issues on housing and housing developments, all on the agenda for the La Crosse City Council. Those council members will make a decision on whether or not to move forward on selling the South Branch Library building on 16th. Developers would be looking at turning it into apartments. And additional apartment development will be discussed regarding the Grandview building that's near UW La Crosse. Originally a hospital and most recently the home of the Family and Children Center. Well, Governor Tony Evers has declared an energy emergency in the state. The executive order is in response to the frigid temperatures we've been having, and suppliers are struggling to get products like heating oil and propane. The 30-day order waives certain hours restrictions. It allows suppliers to get caught up, and then it helps keep your home heated this winter. Some residents in La Crescent, in an apartment building there, had to leave their home for a few hours after a La Crescent police officer on a regular patrol smelled a strong odor that was believed to be a gas leak. Well, it happened around 5:40 last night. The residents left the apartment building on Lancer Boulevard. The fire department recorded high gas levels on the block across from the high school. Minnesota Energy also on the scene to help. Authorities believe a furnace malfunctioned in the Fitzgerald Religious Education Center. Residents, luckily, were able to return home after just a few hours. Well, Onalaska High School is preparing for their show choir classic coming up on Friday and Saturday. Middle school choirs, high school concert choirs, and high school shows will all be attending that event. Now, the over 35-year-long event invites 17 show choir teams, including Central and Logan's River City Revolution, Holman High School's Midwest Express, and Toma High School's Limited Edition. The event also serves as a fundraiser for Onalaska's show choir. It gives the community a chance to support the students and also enjoy the talents of the students from all around the area.
It's a very fun event. We encourage the community to come out and support it. It's kind of astonishing what all these different schools can do. And I think that's what a lot of people who don't know what show choir is, that if they come to see it for the first time, they are truly blown away by the skills and talents of all these different students from all these different schools.
Friday, the middle school show choirs will be competing at Onalaska High School, and the high school concert choirs will be competing at First Lutheran. Now, on Saturday, the high school show choirs will be competing all day. And if you want more information, find this story on our website, wxow.com. And we are learning of another performer coming to the Ashley for the Arts this summer, and this one is bringing all good vibes. Country music star Chris Jansen will be on the main stage Saturday, August 9th at 5 p.m. Jansen recently performed at the La Crosse Center. He's known for hits like Buy Me a Boat, Fix a Drink, and of course, Good Vibes. That same day, Third Eye Blind, Darius Rucker also will be at Ashley for the Arts. And a reminder, this event is August 7th through the 9th at Memorial Park in Arcadia.